Hi guys, how are you all today? I hope everybody can hear me. I'm trying to figure out where things are going on my screen. Well, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you can hear me. Today we're going to do something a little different. I haven't done an interactive lately. I've had a lot of questions lately on how to create cut files and embroidery files from patterns that you purchase. Well, I did not purchase a pattern. I made my own, but basically this will simulate what you all want to do because I have to use artwork that is my own, not somebody else's. All right, so here we go. This is a simulation of a pattern that you might purchase, right? You'll notice the layers are all on top of each other, and that makes it challenging when working with a ScanNCut. A way that you can do this is scan to Canvas Workspace, and that's what I'm going to do today. But one of the things that if you do not have enhanced image tracing, I'm going to show you both ways to do it, but if you do not have enhanced image tracing, my suggestion is you trace over the actual pattern pieces to where they are separate before you scan them in. If you have an enhanced image tracing, there are some workarounds to where you don't have to do this part of it. But that is the easiest way to do it, whether you're doing it with enhanced image tracing or not. But there are some ways that you can do it with enhanced image tracing. So, hi guys, I see a lot of you guys rolling in today. Hi Pat, hi Francie, hi Robin, hi Shirley, Patty and Lori. Nancy's here from South Carolina and Priscilla's here from Texas again. Hi Sharon, hi Susan, and hi Karen. I'm doing great. It's a busy week as always. Hi, Margaret. Good to see you here. I saw you have a new baby turkey. That's exciting. Hi, Chris. Good to see you from Ohio. I have relatives that live there. We are going to start on the ScanNCut machine, and we are going to scan to transfer to Canvas Workspace. Hi, Shirley. You're in Central Iowa. And Rhonda's here Rhoda. You know, that is so funny. Rhoda, that is my grandmother's name, is Rhoda. So, little known fact. So from Southeast Kansas. Hi, Lois. Yes, evidently Margaret has a new baby turkey. Hi, Marilyn. Good to see you from Pittsburgh. I've known Marilyn a long time. So, yeah, that is an unusual name, Miss Rhoda, because I mean, really, I think my grandmother's the only Rhoda I have ever known. Oh, oh, so sorry. Good to see you, Beth. Good to see you, Luana. It was a cute little baby turkey. All right, so let's start over at the ScanNCut machine, which means I need to change my camera here for you. And I hope everybody can hear me well enough today. So here we go. We're going to start at the ScanNCut machine. It doesn't matter which of the DX series you have scan to transfer to Canvas Workspace. If you have a wireless machine, I'm trying to remember if I have that on my 650 or not. It's been a long time since I've worked on a 650, so I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to go back and look. All right, so I have placed it on my scan mat. This is the easiest mat I can tell you to do it with because it gives you a nice, clean scan. We're going to place our hand on top of it to make sure it loads correctly. Mine went to sleep on me. Let's press the load button. And once it's underneath my rollers, I can release my hand. My camera slid down on me. I don't know what happened there. We're going to touch scan and then arrow over, transfer to Canvas Workspace is what we want to do today. We are going to say start, and it's going to scan it in, and it's going to transfer it over to my Canvas Workspace, and it will be waiting on me there. So this one is the one that if you have enhanced image tracing that we're doing. Yes, that scan mat does it a whole lot easier. So now it's transferring. You can see that it's transferring and it's done. I would say okay at my machine, but we're going to come back over here to our Canvas Workspace. All right, let me share my screen here. It does help if you choose share screen, doesn't it? Okay, So we are going to come over here to our Canvas workspace. And this button, the leaf, is the image tracing button. Click the image tracing button and you will choose a scanned image from your machine. Okay, it brings it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose this in 3 parts so it gets the 3 separate parts for us. So I'm going to crop in quite a bit here. We can hit preview, but it's still not going to give me what I need. So I'm going to come down here and choose enhanced image tracing. What that does is it gives me the capability of coming in here and say, I want to crop you just the way I want. So we're going to zoom in. And I want the strawberry. So I'm going to basically bring in my little edit nodes here. And if I need to add some in, I can. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so I can add nodes in where I want them to go. We want to bring this down over here so that it doesn't grab more of the strawberry than we want it to. And then let's hit zoom out and let's hit preview. I got a little bit too excited right there, so I'm going to move that node. You'll notice I had a little black spot right there, and I didn't want a black spot. I still have a little black spot. And it can be fussy. I had everything I needed there except for that. So let's hit preview. Almost. I've almost got it exactly like I need it. We're going to take it out a little bit further here because I wanted to grab that spot right there. You know, guys, it's amazing how when you do this in practice, it does it perfectly. And then when you get in here and try to do it with you guys, it decides to do its own little way of thinking. Okay. So we've got some stuff that I want it to not do. So I'm going to have to come in here and play a little bit with it a little bit differently. Let's take and hit the minus. I'm going to remove these adjustment lines right here. We're going to see what happens if I do that. Nope. Let's hit the minus line here. I don't want it to grab those lines right there. I like better if I can grab it the way I was doing it, but it's being ornery here with me, and we want to add this one in. Now let's preview it. We're darn close. Let me take that off. Aha. Okay, so it looks like I've kind of got what I want. I took off the trace outer edge only to give me that extra bump that I needed. Let's click OK. So now I've got some extra stuff. I don't want the inside, I want the outside piece only. So there we go. And now we should be able to delete that image from here to see what we've got. Oh, I got rid of the wrong one. So let's undo twice. Hide. That one's the one I want. Okay. So we are going to get rid of this guy. And then get rid of our image so that we can start back on the other one. Okay. Now you can come back in and finesse this a little bit. Once we get done with all the layers, I'll show you how to do that. So let's come in and grab the next section. Scanned image by your machine. Let's crop in to where we just have the leaf for the most part. And yes, enhanced image tracing is an add-on. We're going to change it to enhanced image tracing. Click OK. And this one did, undo. I clicked OK too fast. I wanted to go in and finesse it. Crop it back in. Let's change it back to enhanced image tracing and let's zoom in. So I'm close to what I want. I don't want that top part, so I want to grab my crop tool, bring this down, bring this down. We're trying to just get the leaf this time. So when you click, you can add a point just by clicking. That's all you have to do. We're trying to get rid of the excess. Let's see what happens. Sweet, that one's ready. We'll say okay. And then we're going to do our last step. So I'm going to get rid of that image again. We're using the same image every single time, so you don't have to worry about keeping it. So let's come back up here. This time, all we want is the stem. And I'm going to go back to enhanced image tracing. Let's crop and zoom in. I'm going to add some points. And we're about where we want to be. Let's preview. Okay, for some reason it's deciding it wants to do something. Oh, you know, I bet it's the lighting in here. When I did this earlier, I did not have my lighting quite as strong over next to the ScanNCut. So I'm betting that's my little issue, because I didn't have all this stuff earlier. Let's preview. Took too much away, so let's add a little bit more back in. Preview. There we go. That's perfect. Click OK. And now let's, if we hide our image, you have, these are your parts, okay? If you want to perfect them a little bit, you can. You can turn off what you don't want to work with in the layers window. So we want to work with, let's work with this bottom shape. You would zoom in, zoom right in on top of it. I've got that shape selected. We're going to tap it twice. Where are you, little stinker? Let's turn that guy off. There we go. Zoom in. And I usually hide the control points on this until I'm ready to mess with it. I'll take a couple of them out, highlight them, take them out. Then you can turn your control point back on and play with it. If you want to see your image behind it, you can always do that. So we can come in here. I don't understand why my visual is being so weird today for me. For some reason, it's decided these want to be white on StreamYard. That line is usually black, guys. So on your screen, you should see it black. I don't know why mine is being weird today. Let's paint it. I'll make it red. Let's see if that, I don't know what's going on with that today. The line is selected. It is now red. That is just bizarre. So something's going on with my computer today. There you go. There it is. I don't know why it's being so weird, but it is doing a whole level of crazy on me today. All right, so that is the enhanced image tracing version of it. Let me come back and answer some questions once I find where my mouse is. There we go. All right. Enhanced image tracing is a purchase from your dealer. So that is one of those things that you can go in and ask for ScanNCut. It's an add-on to your Canvas workspace, and it's called Enhanced Image Tracing, and it is definitely an add-on. So that is one of those things that I would tell you that's the way to go. So that is just, I mean, there are some other things that you can purchase, Lois. You can purchase rhinestone kit. I mean, they're all different kits, but the enhanced image tracing is an add-on. Now, this is the next one I'm going to show you is let's scan it in using the separate pieces. Since we're going to be working on it on the computer anyhow, I prefer to scan to transfer to Canvas Workspace. That way I don't have to take a USB stick over there or any of that. But I could scan to cut data. That would be acceptable as well. You can do it either way you want to. I'll show you both methods, but only one will last on my screen at one time. So let's go back. Let me change cameras. I have no idea why mine is being weird. That is just bizarre today. And now my camera has decided to black out. Guys, all right, I have no idea what's going on. Give me just a second and let's see if I can do a little troubleshooting over here. For some reason, my devices went black on me. I'm plugged in. That is plugged in. That is plugged in. All right, let's try it one more time, guys. We'll try switching the cameras again and see if it likes me. It does not at all. All right. Okay. It's not even switching my camera. This is funny today. All right. I have one last thing I can try. And that would be to change my Okay, we're going to try this again. I have no idea if this is going to take care of it or not. Guys, I have no idea. I hate it when things go wrong. All right, guys. So something is going on with StreamYard today. I'm going to try one last time. And if that doesn't work, we're going to go on to working with what I've got. I've got it already done, and it'll be the same process. So hold on. Let's change cameras one more time. See if it likes it. All right, no. I cry uncle. Come on, like me. I can see chat if you put. Okay. All right, we're not even going to try to do that anymore. I have no idea what's going on. Something is weird today with StreamYard, so I'll report it as a bug. I have no idea. It was working perfectly fine earlier today, so I have no idea. It is just one of those things that we have to deal with. So I already have that done. It's the same process. You would just scan them in as separate pieces. I basically layer them all in there at one time. If I can't, then I'll scan in 2 different sections, but you have to do it one at a time. So you have to do one, bring it over here, get it image traced, and then bring in the second part if you need to. I have them ready already, just so you can get an idea of how it works both ways. So I do not have the image over here to be able to trace it, but I can make it in a couple of seconds here. So hold on a second. Let me import. Give me just a second. I'm on a fake and bake here. Where's my mouse? Okay. You know, you don't like to do things like this that make it so interesting, but what can I say? This will give you the other way to do it if you don't have it this way. So, all right. Yeah, sometimes you have to trick everybody. So I have no idea what's going on today. All right, let's come back over here. And let me share my screen again. And let's find Canvas Workspace. Okay, so this method was the method you would do if you had them together. We're going to do new, and I'm not going to save this one. We're going to press the image tracing button. And this time I'm going to go an image from my computer, even though normally I would tell you it's an image scanned by your machine. But we can do it this way as well. So let me find my Facebook Live file. Here we go. Here's my strawberry. We're going to open that up. So for this one, you can see trace outer edge only. Press OK. Oop, undo. It didn't like me. An image from the computer. We're going to grab this guy right here, open it up. You can do individual pieces only, or let's try trace by color. So notice when I did trace by color, it picked up the colored pieces. So we're going to touch OK, and then we can turn off this image, and there are your parts. So if you scan them in separately, let's say this one, let me ungroup. Let's say this one was over here, and this one was over here, and this one was at the top. You still have all of your three pieces. They're just not layered on top of each other. And then you could take and put them where you want them to go. All right. So once you've got them in here and you have them as an FCM file, you would export that FCM. So we would go export transfer FCM. And it's telling me anything that's hidden is not going to be exported, and that's fine because we don't have anything hidden that we want to export. And we're going to say export FCM, and we will say strawberry. All right. So there's my image file that I want to work with in both BES4, Simply Applique, and PE-DESIGN. Okay. Now, Simply Applique I'm going to do last because we'd have to do something a little different for that. Let me remove my guidelines. Let's come up to our paste setter button in BES4 and choose import, and then import artwork. We are going to choose my Cindy Facebook Live files and find that strawberry. There it is. We'll open that up. All right. So this guy right here is going to be the easiest of the three that we do. And it is unusual for me to say that BES4 would be the easiest of them to do, but BES4 for this one would be the easiest. You can select all items, go to your Tools tab, and choose Convert to Applique. Now, once you've done that, I would change the covering stitch color for the ones that I want to change. So this one right here, I would change to green. Let me find a different color palette. Brother Embroidery. There we go. Green. This one right here, color number 3, green. So that takes them to where I've got the colors that I want in my palette. Okay. Once I've done this, I would go to my Tools tab here and say Scan and Cut, and this is what I would cut at my Scan and Cut. I would separate those pieces. This is what I would cut. Now, you'll notice we've got some overlapping stitches, and we don't want that. The reason we don't want that is because you'll have humps when you go to embroider it, right? So how can I get rid of those spots? Well, in BES4, if you select the applique, you can go to your Tools tab. You can click on the Edit Shape Tools, right mouse click on a node where you want to split the design, which this is where I want to split it, and choose Split Line. Now you'll notice that is a part. So when I right mouse click, that is split. I can then highlight all of those edit nodes that are all the way across there, press delete on my keyboard, and then right mouse click, and that section is gone. I would probably move this one up a little bit and then delete this guy right here. Right mouse click, and it's reset your path. Okay. So then, what is our other section we want gone? I'm going to come and zoom in. I would want my stem to be the top. Or you could say, oh no, I think I want the strawberry leaf to be the top. You pick which one. So if you want your strawberry leaf to be the top and not the stem, then select your stem, go to the Tools tab and choose Edit Shape. Right mouse click and add a point right there. Right mouse click on the opposite side and add a point, and then split at point. Split line. So there, that one's split. We can highlight everybody next to it. Oops, I don't want to get that guy. So we're going to press delete,
Do the same thing with this one. Press delete and then right mouse click and that shape has been adjusted. So now you're not going to have the overlap when it comes to stitching. And the reason I did it that way instead of remove overlaps is because those stitches don't actually stitch on top of each other. If they stitch on top of each other, you can remove overlap, but they don't. There was a space between them. So there were items hid well up underneath there. Now, could have I adjusted my shape? Of course. But did I want to do that? No, this was much easier. And then I know that for a fact that my fabric is going to sit where I need it to sit. So you'll just fit your fabric in there around the outer edges when your placement stitch is done. So that is how I would do it in BES4. Okay. That's the easiest program for this particular applique that I could do this in. That split line is super simple. Now I can do the same similar thing in PE-Design 11, but it's not quite as easy. I'm about to do it in PE-Design 11. So give me just a second, because these two are the closest to each other. Let's go back and share my screen. All right, so here we are in PE-Design 11. In PE-Design 11, you're going to go to your ScanNCut tab, and you're going to choose Import. And we're going to find our strawberry. There it is. We can choose Import. And I'm going to go to my Home tab. I don't know. This is one big old strawberry, so let me go pick a different hoop size. Let's pick our 60. There we go. That's big. That way I know that everything is there and easy enough to go with. All right. We can hit our applique wizard. We want to replace it. I'm going to choose a zigzag stitch and leave everything else at my defaults and click OK. So now I have my applique. What we would do at this point, let's come in and zoom in. It's similar to what we just did, but different, okay? So, one thing we should have done in the other one, let me go back to my strawberry here real quick. When I changed it to where my stem would be sewn, it was the part that was removed. I needed to put my leaves. Let's move our leaves to last. All right, right mouse click, move, sew last. That would be the order that you would want to stitch those in. So if we do the same thing in PE-Design 11, we would need to reorder things, but we can do that after we're done splitting our lines. So let's click over here. Let me grab my select tool, and I'm going to first select the berry part, the covering stitch of the berry. That's this guy right here, number 4. And I do not have show by color order on. If I have show by color order on, I have 2 sections of that, and it would be 3-2. So we're going to select that, and we need to ungroup. So that's the very first thing we're going to do. Control A and right mouse click and ungroup. Otherwise, it's not going to let us play. So I'm going to select that section, and you'll notice it's selected in your sequence view window. We're going to click on the select tool and choose the select point tool. Once again, I would add a point right there. Right mouse click on this one and say split at point. This one's pretty well, so we're going to right mouse click here and say split at point. And you'll notice that we have an extra line right there. Double click on that and choose the select tool. Press delete. So my tack down stitch is there. And if I don't want that, I would do the exact same thing I just did. Click that plus sign. This time I would grab 3-1, or if I don't have it in a plus sign, it would be 3. Right, we want to add a point here. We don't need to add one there, so we can right mouse click on this guy, split at point. Right mouse click on this guy, split at point. Click it, select patterns, and delete it. So one of the things that I like about PE-Design over BES is that it still leaves me that placement stitch, so I know where my fabric goes in that part. So yes, that is different than remove overlaps. You are controlling where you're removing things from here. The split at point is actually, it's removing the overlap, but if I choose remove overlaps, it will do nothing here. Because these are lines, it does not remove the overlaps from lines in PE-Design. All right, so for this one, we would do our stem. Let's say we're going to do our stem again. We can grab piece number 9-2. Click on your select point tool. Choose, I'm going to add a point there, and I'm going to add a point there. I'm going to right mouse click and choose split at point. I want to undo that. Right mouse click, split at point. And you'll notice when you expand that section, there's 9-3, which is that little tip. Select the patterns icon. There you go. And you would do the same thing for 9-1. Select point. Add your edit point. Add your edit point. Right mouse click, split at point. Right mouse click, split at point. This is giving you control over the area that you want to get rid of. So then I would take that, and we would move these guys in front of the stems, excuse me, of the leaves. And I personally recolor. So I would change my covering stitch for those two. Go to my color tab, come here, pick a thread chart that you like, and pick a color. Same thing with this one. I actually usually cheat here and go here. Because then it automatically brings up my Brother Thread palette. So you still have the spaces for your fabric to go so that you know that your fabric is in there perfectly. You know that your fabric's going to be in there, but you've removed those overlapping stitches to where you don't have that hump. And in BES4, in order for it to remove the overlap for those outline stitches, they have to be sitting right on top of each other. Otherwise, it wouldn't do anything. I can show you the difference between the two if you would like for me to do that. And remove overlaps in PE-Design only works on fill areas. So that is a major difference between it and BES. If we did this same thing, let me choose new, import artwork. And let's convert this one to Applique. If we try to remove the overlaps here, let's right mouse click and choose, actually we got to go to the top layer here. Right mouse click, remove overlap stitches. Even if I take this down to nothing, the only thing that's going to be removed is where those stitches overlapped, okay? So that's the difference. That's why we did split at point, okay? Now, the last one is BES4. So, excuse me, not BES4, Simply Applique. Now, Simply Applique is the odd nut in this one. There is no split at point. There is remove overlaps. But remember, unless I want to adjust my shape to make it exactly on top of one another, that's not going to work so well for me. So with Simply Applique, I would go in Canvas Workspace and split my lines. That is open them up. That would be the easiest place to do it. So let me show you that. Let's go over to Canvas Workspace. So we've got our entire strawberry here, right? So let's click on our select tool and double tap on this guy. I'm going to select a point and we're going to hide our control points. I'm going to select a point. We're actually going to add a point in. So let me add one in. Notice how it went right there. And now we can move that node a little bit. Oops, I went too far. Hold on. Let's zoom in a little bit further. I want to take that and I want it right there. So I would then choose Open Outline. I guess I don't want to open it there. So let me open it in the other one. So let's, oops, double tap this. Let's select this one and let's open that outline. There we go. That's what I want. Now we can zoom out a little bit. So for this one, I would then highlight my nodes as far as I can take them and minus those out. You would do the same thing for whether you want the strawberry or the stem. I'm going to get rid of my stem here just to be consistent with all three programs. So let me see where this one goes. You'll notice, do you see that little light blue line across there? That's telling you if it adds a node, it's going to add them in between that. So if I add a point, you notice how it added it exactly in between those two. I'm going to put that point right there on that line. Let me see what this one does. See, if I add a point between that one, it would go between it and the one above it. So this is where I need to add that point. So let's add a point. Notice how it went in between those 2 points. Now we can actually click on this one and say open outline. Now grab all of those and subtract them out. Now you've got separate parts. Okay. We can export this as, we're going to say export transfer FCM, and we will export it as a strawberry 2. Okay. Now, if I'm in Simply Applique, and that's where I am now, same process, import FCM file. Let me come down here and strawberry 2. You'll notice if we expand it, these are all open areas. Now, in PE-Design, you have to have a closed shape in order for it to convert to applique. In BES or Simply Applique, you do not. So that is why I start with a closed shape in most of them. So we're going to convert to applique. So the whole thing is now converted into applique. Let's change our covering stitch for that one to red. Color 3 is red. We'll leave those 2 green. And let's reorganize to where this one is in front of this one. Well, it doesn't like me to do that, so let's move this one to last. Not going to let me. You ornery little stinker. There we go. So now we're rearranged, okay? Now, if I go to the scan, if I touch Scan and Cut on this one right now, notice how I've got open-ended shapes. And if I touch it, you can see that. Let me take off the fill of that one so you can see. When you have an open-ended shape, in order for the Scan and Cut to cut it appropriately, you need to close that shape. We didn't open the leaf, so it's fine. We did open this one, so if we look at this, you'll notice there's no line going across there. That means it's an open shape. I need to close that shape. But if I were to cut it this way, it would not cut to where it would go underneath the leaf. So you need to edit the shape. You can come in and add a point, add another point, just add a few along the way here. This is going to be hidden underneath an applique, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You just don't want a ton of bulk up underneath there. And there you go. So now if you fill that back in, oops, we want to right mouse click to set that shape. Right mouse click. There we go. And you can see your shape changed over in your sequence view window. So let's turn on the fill for that one. Click on this guy and turn on his fill. And you can see all of the shapes are the way you want them to be now. They're all closed. And if we open them up, every shape that we have here is a closed shape now. And these are what you would cut at your ScanNCut machine. Okay. So, I mean, it's simple and it's hard. I mean, it depends on how you do it. I personally prefer to trace my pieces and scan them in because I think you get cleaner. I think it's easier. But the enhanced image tracing depending on your lighting, may work for you if you have it. Being able to manipulate those nodes in enhanced image tracing is huge. So that, and scanning directly into your Canvas workspace, since you're going to be working on the machine itself anyhow, on the computer itself anyhow, just makes sense. So did I miss any questions here? I'm looking to see what we've got. Y'all are too funny. Grace under pressure. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'd love to know why my cameras are not working today. What is going on? But I have no idea. Yes. Wait a minute, Lois. Convert to Applique can be done in all. Yeah, you can do it all at one time. Just ungroup them, and then you don't have to convert them separately. You can do it all at one time and then ungroup them and then play. Okay. How can you get a ScanNCut? Well, there are multiple ways you can get a ScanNCut. My suggestion is you get one from a authorized brother dealer, but there are lower end models that don't have as much built into them that you can purchase online as well. There are dealers the dealers are now allowed to sell the most current models of our ScanNCuts online, so you could do that. And if I can always give you suggestions outside of here as to where you might want to try to buy one. But it really depends on your budget. Every machine has different features on it. The one I was using today is the Disney model. So it's the SDX 230DX. Okay. Actually, mine is actually still a 230D, but I have everything in it that the DX does, because basically it was the difference of the vinyl kit. So, that's where you would get it. And it's a digital cutting machine as well as a scanner. It has a built-in scanner. The built-in scanner is worth its weight in gold. I had other digital cutters before, but I have not. I ended up selling that because I love my scanning. I love the scanning capabilities. Not only can you scan things into cut, you can also scan in your background fabrics, so you know where to place your cutting files on your background fabrics. And another day I'll do that, but evidently today is not the day to try to go to another thing. Yes, you should be. I can see comments from YouTube here, because I see Shirley's from YouTube. So see, here's one from Shirley. Canvas Workspace is free. Okay. There are add-ons for Canvas Workspace, but it is a free program that comes with every ScanNCut machine, but you can also use it even if you don't have a ScanNCut machine. It allows you to trace images on your computer. There are tons of built-in projects. If you've not watched us before, there are tons of built-in projects. Rhonda, where are you in? Are you in the US or are you outside of this country? So that really, the projects on there are fun to convert to appliques as well. So I do not see a lot more questions today. So y'all are not doing real good on questions. Kansas. So trying to think who's there. Becky, I'll do let's see if I've got, let me look on my computer here and see if I have anything that I can enhanced image trace with. I've recently switched computers and I haven't moved all my image files over here yet. Let's see here. Pictures. Do I have anything in here? Okay. It depends on how that was created, Carolyn. If it truly depends on how it was created. If the center line is right in the middle of the applique and it's not a chunky outline, then yes, I would add an offset when I get to the ScanNCut machine of about 2 millimeters. Okay. Let me. Oh yeah. Yours is. Brain is just gone. Yeah. I can't think of their name off the top of my head, but I know exactly who you're talking about. I did a ScanNCut presentation for them right after B2B last August, but my brain is just not there right now. Yes. So, and real nice people. So, I mean, that's who I would talk to about purchasing one. Okay, so what was I going to say? The image trace, enhanced image tracing. So let's see. I'm not sure if this one will work or not because it is a small image. This time I'm going to do an image on my computer. Let me go into my pictures. And let's see here. Okay, that one is not the best of images that I've ever gotten. Let's see what enhanced image trace does for us. So let's zoom in. And just like I did before, I would probably do this one as in parts. So I would probably grab this and do my letters first on this part. And let's see what happens. It does not like that. Okay, so my letters are too small here for this one. I would need to change my image to a different image. So let's see if I have another one. I just don't have any good images on this one. So enhanced image tracing is both in the online one and the desktop version. Let me double check that before I give you incorrect information. Let's go to Canvas Workspace Online. And I'll bring this over here. Canvas. Okay, let me log in. Y'all are going to get to know my login name. I mostly work on the desktop version because it has layers. You get the BES4 from your dealer as well. Okay, so if we go into new projects, I'm pretty sure it's here as well because we did not have, all right, leaf trace, start enhanced image tracing. We could choose oh wait, let's do select scanned image from ScanNCut. Close it, there we go. So yes, we do have the same functionality here. Bring them in. The nice thing about the desktop, the online version is you can use it on anything you have. So any device the online version works on. But you cannot work in layers to turn things on and off. Let's preview what we've got. Oh, y'all aren't getting to see my screen, are you? There we go. I did the same strawberry. Let me come back in here and do that again. Select it, start enhanced image tracing, select scan from a scanned image that I had on my ScanNCut. You can come in and crop in. And as I said, the nice thing about this is that you can use it on any device that you have. I can't believe that this is not killing my bandwidth. So there I've got that part. We would choose next and close it. And I'm going to say okay on that part. no, I don't want to paste my image because we don't have to on this one. We're going to go back in and do it again for the next part. So I have some extra stuff. So here I would ungroup. Let's see if it's going to let me. Nope. So you'll notice here I have some extra stuff. And it is all together. So you'd have to play. Let's hide our control points. That makes life easier. And then we can nab those and subtract them out. I just find it easier to work on the desktop version. I'll be perfectly honest. It's my preferred version. I'm going to try sneaking all these guys down, and then we'll open at a point. We're going to open right there, which is that one. Then you can get rid of these guys. And I will tell you that it has been eons since I have worked with this version. Yes, that is a valid point. On the desktop version, you do not have to be connected to the internet. On the this version, you do. So once you've got that, you would close your point right there. Go back in, trace the next part. So that's where you go from. Okay. Echo quilting in BES4. No, there is not unless you have Power Pack 1 and 2. So that would be the extra. The premium tab is your add-ons, like your enhanced image tracing. So if I come over here and show you what I've got on premium, this would be your enhanced image tracing, your rhinestones, your printable sticker kit, anything that you've got that needs a premium function. That's an add-on. All right, I'm coming back over and answering some more questions. Yes, you do not need a internet connection to work on your desktop version. No, it just simply because it doesn't, the machine, Simply Applique does not color code like our machines do. So you would just know the first piece of every applique is your placement stitch. The second one is your tack down, and the top one is your covering stitch. So you're not forgetting anything, Shirley. It's just, that's just the way it is. You could color code it applique material, I think, but I don't believe it will show up on your machine that way. The last three colors down here, this is your applique material, this is your position, this is your covering. So if you wanted to truly color code something, you can come and grab that section and change that to applique position, applique material. So that's, they actually say it backwards from us. This is the one that you cut, and it actually needs to be applique material. This is applique position. That's the one you stitch. I stitch them both, and then that would be your covering stitch. So you're not forgetting to do anything. It's just, it does not automatically color code it to those colors. BES4 and all of the power packs are only available from an authorized brother dealer. I do sell books that support it, but I do not sell the product itself. Let me see here. if I am wanting to make sure that it's going to be covered in if it's something I have created in PE-Design, I don't have to do anything because it automatically bumps your placement stitch outside. Your applique material is automatically made larger. It doesn't go down the center. If I purchase the applique, then generally it is running right down the center. If it is one that I have created in Simply Applique or in BES4, I will do a little bit of an adjustment on my placement, and I can do that directly here in the software. I'm going to show you. You'll notice you have one of them is this guy right here. Let me grab my selection tool. If I grab my applique, I can change my inset percentage to like 75% and apply it. You'll notice how that outline went to that line went to the exterior. And if I do it that way, then I do not have to add anything at the ScanNCut machine itself. If I did the same thing here to my leaf, let's say we change our inset percentage to 75%, your overall design size is going to be slightly smaller, but your piece itself will be perfection. So if we look at our design, not that big of a difference on the design itself, but those ScanNCut pieces, and once I've done that, then I would hit my Tools tab and say, hit the ScanNCut tab. Once again, I'd have to fix that shape, but that will make your piece fit the size of your applique itself. Okay? And the same thing works in BES4. If you want your tack down to be closer, further in, you can always adjust the tack down offset. And that is, let me come here and grab that. Down here where it says tack down offset, it's -1 and -0.5 right now. Let's say we want it -1. Let me show you what it's going to do before I click it. So you see, right, this is your tack down. If I click apply right now, let me come here, change that, -1, apply. Notice how that went further in. So if you want to make sure that your fabric gets caught, if you're not using an adhesive backing and you want to make sure that your fabric gets caught, then go ahead and bump that in to a negative number, because that's going to give it more room to grab the fabric. Okay. Any other questions today? Sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully we won't have that the next time around. I don't know what happened today. I've got some troubleshooting to do, evidently, because I have another Facebook Live on Thursday with allbrands.com. On density, which program, Rhonda? You wanted in BES or PE-Design or Simply Applique? Give me let me know that one. I will be starting to travel again in the fall. One of my first ones is going to be at the Stitching Post in October. I'll be doing 3 days, and I can't remember exactly what we're doing off the top of my head, but my guess is I'm doing ScanNCut, probably doing PE-Design, and I think I'm doing BES4. That's my guess. I won't swear to that, but you can call and ask the Stitching Post that one. I'll be at Heidi's at their sewing retreat in October as well, and I will be at Houston Quilt Festival. So we start back traveling come October unless something major happens. Hope to see you at one of those live. If not, let me see. PE-Design, Rhonda, you increase the number of your covering stitch. So if you wanted to increase your density, come grab your covering stitch here. Go to your sewing attributes and increase the number. That increases your density. Yes, Marcia, I do come to California occasionally. I have been to Sewing Machines Plus. I spent actually 7 days. I spent a week out there. I did 3 days at each of their stores a couple of years ago. Yes, I'm going to be at Houston. I'll be at Houston Quilt Festival this year again. And as long as Houston Quilt Festival is still going on and Brother's allowing us to travel. So I shall be there. All right, guys, if there is nothing else, I'm going to say goodbye until next week. Hopefully we won't have technical issues next week. Y'all have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.